thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
I wanted to start with you just telling us the origins of Messy Mondays.
Yeah, so in 2020, I don't know if you remember that year, it was a wild year. I started doing videos around racial reckoning, being an ally, and it was kind of depressing after a while. And I was also writing on Big Mouth, and I wanted to tell dick jokes. Can I say that? Yeah, I wanted to tell dick jokes. So I got, joy is also a huge part of our activism. So I got on my Instagram stories and I said, tell me something good or tell me something messy. As you imagine, people were at home for a while and they were, can I say horny? They were horny. And so they started telling me, all of their horny fantasies. And I would respond with literally no judgment, just kind of like, yeah, dope. Yeah, I love that. I want to do that too. And it kind of grew. And I kept doing it every Monday. Messy Mondays, tell me something good or tell me something messy. And then that kind of expanded into now it's a podcast, now a Substack. And I wrote a show called Ho Church. So I love sex and I love talking about it. Yeah.
Tell me why. So you started your Substack, I think, in May of 2024.
Yeah, a year ago.
But you just started the live show in April.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about why you decided to take Messy Mondays to Substack Live and how it's different than what you're able to do on Instagram or anywhere else.
Can I be really honest? I was posting twice a week. I was writing on a TV show. I was writing my next book, writing a stage show. And so writing for Substack twice a week was a lot. And I was, the well was kind of dry. And it's like, where's the content? How are you making this content? And so when live video became introduced, it was like, oh, this is a post. I can just talk to people. I don't have to edit anything. Y'all make the clips for me. Love this. And so it was just a way for me to kind of restructure the content so that I, as a creator, am not reaching my wit's end, and a new way to interact. And since my Instagram stories is where it all kind of started, video is where I kind of began. It just kind of seemed like a really good transition.
And what you do that I love so much, and some of it is up here, is you're so good at promoting, and you have all these amazing photos of yourself.
Oh, thank you.
But can you tell us a little bit, of your process from when you book a guest to, sharing it on Instagram, promoting it, to after it's recorded and posting it, that whole process?
Well, I started just reaching out to people who I thought were cool, and we had little Zooms or email exchange, and once they agree to go on, all I ask for is their headshot. I basically say I'm trying to create a compassionate space where we can, or a joyful space where we can, talk about the hot topics and cultural hot topics. So it's really easy, lax, it can be whatever. Instead of it being sex forward, it's really rooted around the guest. Also, not everyone's comfortable talking about sex, so I just want to make sure that they feel good. And once they do that, I have these photos because I took a photo shoot a year ago when I was doing a rebrand. And so I just pop their photo up in a Canva. Honey, it's just a little Canva, little Canva action. And then I post it on Instagram. I post it on Instagram stories. I promote it on the app. I'll also add the poster at the bottom of any of my newsletters, this is happening next week or in 2 weeks. And then I do the scheduling. Zach, I schedule my live video, and I invite the person, and that's kind of the promotional. What was the second part of this question?
Well, I have a question about that, but
yes.
So do you ask your guests to promote it as well?
I haven't. I just kind of send them the materials and let them do whatever. The thing is, I get asked to do a lot of things as well, and sometimes it's a heavy lift, and so I try to make this. If you know me, my word is soft. I love a soft experience. I'm also a Taurus. So I like to make things soft. So I like to give them the options to do it, but they don't necessarily have to. And then when I post after, I'll invite them to collaborate on Instagram and obviously the cross-post. So just kind of giving them the option to choose your own adventure.
I love that. And how soon after the live do you publish it to your Substack?
Immediately. So I do the option that's posted as soon as it's ready, so that if people are coming late, it's already up. And then I will then go in there, I give myself an hour or two after, and I'll go in there and write a write-up about it and add things to it. But at least it's already up.
Great. Okay.
You really like that. Sorry.
That's a good dress. So tell me, what advice do you have for people who want to launch a live show and don't know where to start?
I'm always about intention. So, like, what's your intention? What do you want to say? What do you want to curate? What do you want to offer people? Obviously, we love subscriptions, but, I think it's really hard to go just talk for no reason. So what's the reason you want to be on? What's the thing that you want to offer to your audience? And then do it. I find it easier to do it with other people just because, again, you're in front of their audience, your audience, and it's easier to have a conversation. But I have done my own, I just go live. And we talk about what I like to talk about, which you know what it is. Okay, there we go.
How often do you just, is it if you can't get a guest one week, or do you just go live on your own sometimes?
I did it, so I've basically always had a guest except for 1 week where I didn't, and so that's why I went live by myself. But in general, I've been doing it every Monday night, and so it's always been with somebody. Yeah.
And do you find that people are pretty open to being guests? Have you had anyone say no?
No, I have no resistance. Look at that. People like me. No, I think people are excited about the tool, and it's really, again, if I'm setting it up, all you got to do is show up, and then it's a post for you as well. So I think it's a really easy ask. I mean, for my New Yorkers, it's not because I'm asking them to stay up at 9 p.m. But in general, it's a really easy thing to just flip on your phone and talk to me for a little while. And then I take care of everything else. So there's been no, no's.
Great. And what have been so I try to catch all your lives because I love the conversations. And I loved the one with V. That was one that's very memorable. It was a special conversation. But I'm curious if you've had any really surprising moments, or are there any anything that's happened during a live show that's been really
so Kat Cohen was the last one I did on Memorial Day, and we started pulling tarot cards. But we were also on live, so we couldn't look up what it means because we just brand new at tarot. So in the chat, we were tell us what this one means. And so people were engaged in that way, looking it up for us, telling us what our futures were. And so that was a really fun moment. And then with Hunter, I love Beyonce, and she loved Beyonce. And if y'all let me talk about Beyonce for 30, 40 minutes, that's a vibe. So we talked about Cowboy Carter for 30, 40 minutes, and we were I don't know if y'all want this content, but you're going to get this content.
It's a very fun one. The tarot card one, I was looking it up. I was I'm going to write what it is in this. And then someone else got
it. Yeah, I love the community of it all. Yeah.
Let's talk about community.
Please.
Tell me a little bit about how do you foster your community on Substack? How do they show up differently there than maybe on other platforms?
I'm still working on that and learning who they are. I call them my home unity, because duh. And so we're still working on what that looks like. But I think right now a lot of people, and again, I'm in the sex space, so I think people like to watch and voyeur more than participate always. But they're there. I see you. But I think I've been on Instagram for a while, and I did Instagram subscriptions. I did the community app where you can message. So I've done all those. And I think the difference here is because of the subscription, one, people are opting in, and two, I just have more ways to engage with them. Instagram subscriptions was kind of I guess I'll do another story for you, but here it's you can read my writing, I can make a video for you, I can introduce you to the podcast that I have. And so I find that it's the people who want to go dive deeper really find themselves percolating around.
And so on your podcast, I'm curious too, just about general cross promotion, because you are in so many places online. Are you talking about your Substack in many places, and what does that look like?
Yes, the reason I joined Substack was because I wanted to create an ecosystem for my brand, and I wanted a place that people could come and communicate with each other. So Substack feels like a really great foundational space for all the other things that I'm doing, because you can't really talk to me on the podcast. Well, not really. You actually can't talk to me on the podcast. So it's I do promote it on the podcast. I'll promote it on Instagram, and then I'll funnel everything to Substack.
I love it. And how do you decide how much or what you put behind a paywall?
That's a great question, and I'm still playing with it. I talked to Hunter Harris about this, and she really gave great advice, which was sometimes she just paywalls the last paragraph, that you don't have to paywall the whole thing or everything, that in fact, just it's like the little n, because at that point, people just want to support you. And so I found that to actually be a better model. In general, what I say is that the live streams on Monday nights is for everyone, and then there's an additional post on Friday that has like a mini podcast, and that is behind the paywall, but still in that post, there's a bunch of free shit, so it's just like a little extra. And that seems to be working for me right now, just giving people a little extra reason to pay.
What advice do you have for people who want to start on Substack, who aren't there yet?
I mean, it's gonna sound silly, but kind of just do it and don't messy, right? Like, don't look for perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. I really joined it as like a sandbox, a playground to figure out my book, to figure out what my community wants, and I think I really like that it doesn't have to be high production. I think in some other spaces, things have to really look perfect. And I love Substack, and I say I'm here imperfectly. So I'm gonna see what works, throw some shit at the wall. If it doesn't work, great. If it does, beautiful. Like, it is, for me, as an artist, to be an artist again. Because I say, since college, all of my work has had to be paid for. Like, everything I'm making is about, can I sell this? Who's gonna like this? What demographic? And so everything is about everyone else and not me. And so this space is about your girl. And so, yeah, it's just like, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna fuck up, I'm gonna do things imperfectly, and I'm gonna bring my audience along for the ride, for this like intimate building of something.
I love that. And it is what I'm always saying to writers and creators too, is just start. It's so easy to overthink it and feel like you have to go in. It's good to go in with a plan, but know that that plan is going to change.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, right? The flow of it. And also like engaging with other accounts, because you see what other people are doing. You're like, oh, I like that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Or that stuck out to me, and that's something I can use as well. So that's part of just starting.
Because your branding and stuff, you didn't do till recently, right? Or
Well,
did you always
so
have that logo?
I had the logo for the start of Substack, because this was a year ago, and I was like, I gotta have a logo. But you don't. But yeah, I did all that with my initial launch, because I came in with like, oh, this is gonna be some high whatever, and that quickly was like, this is too much work. And so I've lowered, I don't wanna say lowered the bar, but lowered my expectations of myself on this and let myself off the hook, if you will. Yeah.
Cool. I love it. Any last words?
Yeah. I think that your art matters. And I think you're here because you know your art matters. And I know this is all scary sometimes and really technical and, oh, how do I grow and how do I get subscriptions and all that. And as often as you can, I would say, take a breath and remember like what you want. What is your intention? That your voice matters, your words matter, your art matters. And so follow that. The audience will figure themselves out. I think we get lost when you start trying to service the audience. It's like, they don't actually know what they want, honey, right? So like, you might as well follow your heart, follow your goal, field of dreams, build it and they will come. But use this space as a way for you to get back to yourself, to do the things that you want to do, to find the spark in your art, your work, your love, your passion. That's what I would say.
I love that. Thank you. Let's give it up.
Yeah. Thank you.